Hello, Stu here. This is season 4 of Bit Weird But Fair Enough, I guess. Thank you so much for returning to listen to more weirdness. I have plenty of weird stuff for you this season, starting off here in episode 1 with my friend Rachel Barrett, who I do the Swingin on the Flippity Flop podcast with, to talk about some weird-ass Easter stuff. Hope you enjoy. Rachel Ray-Ban Barrett.
Hey.
Hello. So nice of you to come and join me on the Bit Weird podcast.
I know, I'm over here now. How exciting.
It is exciting. Can I ask, is it offensive to be asked to be on the Bit Weird podcast? It's sort of an implication that you might be a bit weird yourself and this might be the home for you.
I'm definitely weird, so perfect place, really.
Okay, lean into it. Is it too personal to ask what's weird about you?
I think the question is more, what's not weird about you?
Okay. Hang on, you said about you. Is that me or you?
Well, you as well.
Yeah, nothing weird about me. I talk to the weird people.
Right. Well, good thing I'm in the right place then.
No, I'm just joking. We talk about weird stuff. Not too weird people. But there's no denying that you do a very weird podcast called Tuna Sandwich.
Mm-hmm. It is pretty weird.
So it is a character called Tuna Sandwich.
Yes.
Who, let's say, philosophizes a lot.
Yes.
And gets into odd adventures. What else can you tell me about Tuna Sandwich?
She has an interesting relationship with the natural world.
Mm-hmm.
She's looking for something. She's looking for meaning in life.
It's shortish episodes comedy podcast that's already been nominated and in the finals of 2 major podcast awards, runner-up in one of those.
Yeah.
So it's a podcast worth spending a bit of time checking out, as is another podcast called Swingin on the Flippity Flop, which I haven't talked about on this podcast before because I haven't done this podcast for a couple of years, but
yeah.
Swinging on the Flippity Flop. It's a 90s podcast with me and hang on.
Someone.
Rachel.
Me. Yeah, that's right.
We just decided, I don't remember how we decided, but we just decided that we were sick of not talking about the 90s.
Yeah, we got to talk about it.
We love the 90s, so we talk about it every week and we rope guests in to talk about it with us from time to time. So there you go. And it's very pleasing to have you here with me today to talk about Easter.
Yes, the most delicious time of year.
Delicious and strange.
Very strange.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Easter, and Easter, there's no doubt that Easter's a bit weird.
Totally weird.
What are we doing here? We're glorifying a dude getting nailed to some wood. The day that happened on is called Good Friday.
That's Bad Friday, if ever.
We have magical bunnies flying around the world giving children chocolate eggs.
Well, or giving birth to eggs. So.
Yeah, bunnies don't lay eggs.
No.
Or fly.
No. Or eat chocolate.
I've seen the little chocolate nuggets rabbits lay, and you don't want any of those.
No.
I mean, people paint eggs for some reason.
Strange.
There's a zombie element to Easter.
Yep. Rising from the dead. No one's afraid.
But
it's like, is it Halloween?
But, from a young age, we just accept all this.
Totally.
It's just normal part of life until you actually step back and look at it.
Exactly. And we also make Easter hats and parade around in circles.
That's something I hadn't thought of either. The Easter hat parade.
What the fuck is
what
that?
What are we doing? What is this? Why?
I don't know. Try and explain that to an alien civilization.
Well, that, and also try and explain to your child
what's going on.
Why you can only find 12 weird ornaments to stick onto their cardboard hat instead. But Jamie's got 13 or 14. She's going to look much better.
Yeah.
It's a competition. We're making... It's a hat competition.
It's a hat competition at Easter. Why? We don't know.
It's upsetting. We're going to get into some Easter gear here. And usually I start with a weird lore.
Okay. I've got folklore.
Well, I'm talking about LAW, not LORE.
Right.
Now, usually I talk about some obscure lore from somewhere around the world, but I'm actually going to talk about an annoying, weird lore that affects me personally and you and everyone in the state of New South Wales, and probably others, I'm not sure, but at least here, on Good Friday, and that's that you can't buy any takeaway alcohol on Good Friday.
Yes. And you're supposed to eat fish as well.
Well, actually, I think that's every Friday, but particularly Good Friday.
Yes.
Yes, my mother, who, I don't know, pays lip service to religion, really, hasn't been in the church, save for a christening here or there for many years, but is still averse to eating meat on Good Friday. Don't know why. But takeaway alcohol? What did Jesus have against?
Yeah.
Like he was into.
He loved it so much he turned water into wine.
That's where I was going. He loved alcohol. Like there was no.
He was the wine king.
No problem with alcohol. So why are we banning people from having alcohol?
He's the best person to have at the party.
Absolutely. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the whole turning water into wine thing, that would have been quite close to Good Friday. Last Supper was the night before.
Yeah, but I think he was just doing that all the time.
Oh, right. Oh, no. Yeah, he didn't do the wine at Last Supper. I'm like, no. But he said that his blood was, what? Wine was his blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's intense. It's like normally the wine is wine, dude. It's not blood.
If you're a disciple, you'd be worried because you've seen him do the water gear and now he's saying it's your blood and you're going, oh, not another one. He's
got more tricks. Oh, I don't know about this.
Upgrading this trick now.
Exactly. He's going to a different direction and I'm not on board with it.
Can you give me a logical reason? Like, it's 2025. Why can't I get, some piss on Good Friday?
It's ridiculous.
I mean, we're being reminded that the Saviour's dead.
Yeah.
We're all sad. We can't get a little drinky poos.
Exactly. I need to drown my sorrows.
Outrageous. I mean, it's the sort of thing you might start a petition about, but you'd look like a bit of a pisshead, really. Being upset that you can't buy a longie on
Good Friday.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know that we got anywhere in terms of getting to the bottom of why that's a thing, but we certainly yelled a lot. Let's talk about some more weird stuff.
Okay.
The bunny and the egg gear.
Makes no sense to me.
Okay. So where does all that come from?
I don't know.
The Easter bunny.
Island? Like,
well,
what do they have? Giant heads? They're not rabbits.
And are they chocolate, though? Has anyone tested that?
Exactly. We don't know. No one's cracked in.
So the Easter bunny likely traces its origins back to pagan traditions. No duh.
That's where all the good shit comes from.
Yeah. Particularly the celebration of Osterfest. And I say that in a bad German accent because it's from ancient Germany. And the rabbit is a symbol of fertility and rebirth, which was associated with spring. Obviously, Northern Hemisphere, Easter's the spring equinox.
Yeah.
A time when new life is abundant. So the goddess Ostera, by Easter,
Greek goddess,
is celebrated during the spring equinox as well. Ostera's symbol was a hare, and her festival marked the return of spring, rebirth, and renewal of life. And hares, i.e. rabbits, as we know, are also symbolic of fertility because they love to fuck.
Yeah, they do. You had to fuck a lot over this period back then.
Rabbits just at it constantly. We all know this. So, that's a good thing to base a festival around, isn't it?
Yeah, the fucking festival. But then you would think like St. Valentine's Day would have the rabbit as its mascot. Like, all the mascots are fucked up.
That's a great point. So over time, Christianity spreads over Europe and the pagan traditions merge with the Christian traditions. Same with Christmas. It gets mixed up with pagan celebrations. And so the egg, which is already a symbol of fertility and rebirth, becomes associated with the resurrection of Jesus during Easter.
Mm-hmm.
And the bunny took on the role in Christian folklore as a figure who delivered eggs. So this is the bit that's murky for me. The bunny gets involved in delivering eggs. That's not clear to me. But the custom of decorating and hiding eggs, which would later be given to the Easter bunny, is said to have originated in medieval Europe. So eggs are forbidden during Lent. That's the 40-day period leading up to Easter where you're meant to give things up.
Mm-hmm.
So people would boil or decorate eggs to preserve them so they could eat them once the fast was over.
It's like that egg's going to go bad.
Yeah.
Like even a boiled egg, it goes off eventually.
Yeah, they do. I suppose it takes a bit longer, but
it's gross.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think boiled eggs last in 40 days.
Hell no.
That's wishful Lent thinking, in my opinion.
It is. You better pray to God that your eggs last that long.
Well, which one? The dead one on the cross?
Exactly.
Going back to the egg being a symbol of resurrection, its hard shell symbolized the tomb, according to some people, and the emerging chick symbolized life after death, i.e., the bloke coming out of the tomb with a new life.
Fresh chicken.
Hey, that's our saviour you're talking about there.
But why aren't we eating like fried chicken then on Easter? Like, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
JFC, Jesus fried chicken. That's what I want to be eating.
Well, little chocolate Jesuses. So why are we complicating things? So the introduction of chocolate eggs came in the 19th century when in Europe, chocolatiers would start making eggs to make a buck.
That would have been expensive though. Like not a lot of people would have been able to afford those eggs.
Well, especially since they were all solid eggs. And eventually at some point they decided to make them hollow because
cheapskates.
It's not financially viable.
Mm.
So that's what I found out about Easter Bunny and eggs, but I don't. Are you any clearer? I'm not any clearer.
No, it's a mystery to me. I
just think it's too easy for people to say, oh, these things just kind of evolve over time. We still have curious minds. We still want to know.
Yeah, what's the real story?
Anyway, send your thoughts into the social channels. But there are a few wacky traditions around the world, Easter traditions I wouldn't mind telling you about. And then you're going to tell me about something that we've been quite fired up about lately, to be honest. We'll get to that soon. So some wacky traditions around the world. In Bermuda, they fly all sorts of homemade kites.
Bermuda.
After a British teacher once explained to his class at Sunday school that Jesus ascension to heaven.
What, on a kite?
Well, I don't... Unless that was lost in translation somewhere. I think you just said, Jesus went up, and they went, well...
So do kites.
If we build some kites, so do kites. See, that's how things do evolve, isn't it?
Exactly.
One thing went up, well, what else goes up?
Yeah.
All right, now the whole story's evolving.
Yeah.
Build an Easter fire, another tradition in US by German expats. Children are told the Easter Bunny lights fires. So these are...
What? Pyrotechnic.
Yeah. I think these must be bonfires, which originally started to act as a treaty between Comanche Indians and, European settlers. So somehow that got bastardized into the Easter Bunny getting involved in lighting fires. This is what I don't get. It just all gets confused and murky.
They don't even have, how does a rabbit even light a fire? They don't even have thumbs.
As soon as the bunny gets involved, it gets murky, right?
Yeah.
Oh, very confusing.
Very convenient as well.
Yeah.
Rabbit gets involved, no information.
The world's biggest Easter omelette gets cooked in France on Easter Monday. Eggs again. The resident of Haux, that's a French town. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Haux.
So I'm going to say
I'm going to say Haux.
All right. Well, I'm going to say residents of usually crack more than 4,500 eggs into a gigantic pan to create a massive Easter omelette that serves over 1,000 people.
It's disgusting. I'm not eating that omelette if I'm there.
I'm not eating that omelette.
It's not sanitary.
And, like, you know, what if you live in and you're a bit of an introvert? You're going to go have breakfast with 1,000 other people?
Pass.
Each family breaks the eggs in their homes in the morning, and then they gather in the main square where the eggs are cooked for lunch. So people are walking through the town with
raw eggs.
Raw, runny eggs.
That's so unhygienic.
Yeah. Ugh. In Hungary, women dress up in traditional clothes on Easter Sunday and get splashed with water, or sometimes even have a bucket of water chucked over them. Seems reasonable.
Wet t-shirt competition.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, bit weird, but fair enough. Is it fair enough? In historic times, the water was considered a way to keep healthy and fertile. Now it's just a bit of fun. Drenching women. Kids in Finland dress as witches at Easter.
Cool.
Halloween comes early for some reason, as children dress up as witches and wander the streets with broomsticks on the hunt for treats.
Odd.
So this is just trick or treat at Easter time.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, Halloween and Easter have a lot of crossover. Coming back from the dead.
Just getting 2 bites of the cherry, though.
Yeah.
The tradition is said to have come from the belief that witches would fly to Germany and cavort with Satan. Well, why not?
Of course. What, just on this one weekend?
I assume so. Well, if you're going to cavort with Satan, is there a better time to kind of rub it in God's face than the day that his son died?
Yeah, exactly. Or he died.
He died as a son.
One of them, I am me.
Again, weird.
You are me.
Which is it?
Weird.
Decide.
There's 3 of you in one person.
You don't hear much about the third one. What does the Holy Ghost do? We've heard about God. We've heard about Jesus. What's the Holy Ghost contributing? That's my
I think
question.
he's just looking at everyone.
Sounds a bit pervy, doesn't it? I'm sorry if you're listening to this and are quite religious. You've probably come to the wrong place.
But look, we're just getting to the bottom of the Easter bunny at this point. That's not offensive.
Yes. So in tobacco trees in Papua New Guinea, chocolate isn't much use in the steamy jungles of Papua New Guinea. So Easter trees are part of the celebrations instead. But instead of sweet treats or colourful decorations, people dress up their trees with tobacco and cigarettes. That's nice, isn't it? And use them as a place of worship leading up to Easter. In churches, small trees are decorated with sticks of tobacco and cigarettes too. These are all handed out during the Easter service.
Fun.
A durry for you. A durry for you. A durry
Little
for
Timmy
you.
gets one.
Hey, how old are you? 6. Oh, only one durry for you then. Yeah. In the Philippines, devout Catholics have taken the practice of self-crucifixion and self-flagellation on Easter. The thinking is that it helps purify them and cleanse them of their sins.
You get the final nail in.
Correct. You've got to have a pal. Again,
can't do it alone. It's impossible.
if you're an introvert.
Even if you've got like one of those things where you can do things with your toes, you can't do that with your toes.
This is all not geared towards lonely introverts, is it? You need a pal to nail the final one in. So the Roman Catholic Church are not too keen on this idea, and they've been actually actively trying to discourage it without much success. But, I mean, if people want to nail themselves to wood, who are you to interfere? Easter is known around the world for multicolored decorated eggs. But in Greece, you'll find only red eggs. Red's the color of life, as well as a representation of the blood of Christ. And from ancient times, the egg's been a symbol of the renewal of life. Yeah, we know that. And the message of the red eggs is victory over death.
Victory.
So it's a little more kind of, I don't know, got a bit more gore factor to it.
Yeah.
So don't try and hand an egg to anyone in Greece unless it's red. You go, would you like an Easter egg? I don't know. Does it look like Christ has bled all over it? Yes. Thanks very much. I'll take 3.
Yeah, that's the one I want.
Easter time is crime time in Norway. Television channels run crime shows, and a slew of detective novels are always commissioned at this time at Easter.
Weird.
Come out just before Easter. Maybe just because it's a good reading weekend. Maybe that's it. People across the country escape to their mountain cabins and spend the weekend with a with whodunit TV shows and books. Well, that's a bit weird. That's just, if you're talking about crime, that's just leaving all the houses empty for people to go and burgle. Even the milk cartons carry short detective stories on the side during this time of the year.
I'm into that.
The phenomenon...
I'm into that.
It makes as much sense as any of the rest of it.
I'm going to adopt that one. Out of all of them, that's the one I'm going with.
The phenomenon was triggered by the immense popularity of a crime novel in 1923.
Okay.
So one good book comes out at Easter time.
We've got to celebrate that till the end of time.
I suppose that's how things start. Things just start from something and then you never let them go. Particularly prejudice against people who want to drink on Good Friday. You can't get on. The Easter Bunny hunt in New Zealand. While the rest of the world hunts for Easter eggs hidden around the house, the people of Otago grab their guns for the annual Great Easter Bunny Hunt. The idea is to rid farmlands of invasive pests, with over 500 hunters vying for the coveted trophy and the $3,500 prize money. So with over 10,000 rabbits meeting their maker each year, the Easter Bunny will probably give that part of New Zealand a miss.
For shiz.
It's a bit macabre, isn't it? Choosing that weekend to kill 10,000
rabbits. Uncool.
Yes. So there are a few of the weird Easter traditions around the world. And as I say, all of them equally as strange as the idea of a bunny delivering chocolate eggs to celebrate Jesus, zombie Jesus rising from the grave. Now, what do you want to tell me about?
I think we need to talk about hot cross buns.
Yeah, now, on the Swingin' on the Flippity Flop podcast, we've had a few discussions about hot cross buns.
Yep, quite a few.
Haven't we?
It's a hot topic at the moment because there's a lot out there.
And I think we've discussed unhappiness at the fact that they can't just leave hot cross buns alone.
No, they've got to fuck with them. They've got to make them more novelty. No, thank you.
What are some of the hot cross buns we've seen out there so far? We've seen fairy floss, flavoured hot cross buns.
Iced Vovo.
Iced Vovo.
I've seen Vegemite flavoured.
Now, please, come on.
Off.
Please fuck off. Fuck off with Vegemite at any time.
Don't put it in anything. Leave it in the jar and I will choose. I choose when.
That's the other thing, isn't it? When they make these novelty flavours, do they think we're idiots? Do they not think that if we wanted to jam an iced Vovo into the middle of a hot cross bun, we couldn't do it ourselves?
I know how to do that.
Without being dictated to?
You don't decide. I decide when.
There's dirty chai.
Not into that.
Hot cross bun. It's ridiculous. I'm very upset.
Wagon wheel? Yuck.
There was wagon wheel. That was the original one we started talking about. What's the point?
So mad.
So that got you thinking about hot cross buns, did it?
Sure did. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Well, so tell me, where'd they come from?
Well, I guess the question is, when you think about... So we have hot cross buns at Easter time.
We do.
And you're thinking about, where'd hot cross buns come from?
I am.
It's like, what are you thinking? It's like, were they all sitting around eating hot cross buns, watching Christ die on the cross? Is that why? There was just like a bun shop and they're all just like, hum num num. Oh, it's been a while. Hum num num. I'm coming back tomorrow. Hum num num. Okay, so he died, but now he's in the cave, so I'm just going to just eat some more of these buns because they're delicious. Well, I'm just going to hang out and wait, see what happens.
I assume it was cynical. You got a baker there. What was it called? Golgotha? Where did he die?
Golgotha,
yeah. Got a baker there at Golgotha. He's got normal buns. He's only selling them for, let's say, 20 cents a piece.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, what are we going to do? I'm not making any money on these buns.
No, he sees like all the people. He sees all the people gathering.
Yeah.
But you have to assume that there's hundreds of people, like there's Romans, there's Jews. They're all there watching this horrible thing happening.
Yeah.
They need snacks. It's been a while.
But the baker, I reckon's just gone...
I'm going to put crosses on these
Whop
buns.
a cross on it, charge an extra 10 cents.
Exactly. These are crucifixion buns.
Yep.
Everyone, get your crucifixion buns.
Can I say...
Marketing. It's all about marketing.
As a child, I always expected the cross to be super tasty.
Yeah. Disappointing.
It wasn't. it was dull. It was just flour and water. Well, I know even my young mind would say, why bother with this if it's not going to be like supercharged flavor?
Yeah, this isn't sugar, an all sugar.
Yeah.
Why am I eating it?
Correct. I mean, it's upsetting to me that, well, all of it's upsetting to me. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, okay. But look, as you've just gone through a lot of these Easter traditions and folklore, there's a lot of folklore and traditions around the hot cross bun itself. So here's a few. The folklore surrounding the hot cross buns is that any bun baked on Good Friday would never go moldy. And if you keep it...
This is back to decorating the eggs again.
Yeah, and if you keep it from that batch that you baked on Good Friday...
Yeah.
For medical purposes throughout the year, you would be protected from ill health.
Right.
Right? And I'm going to talk more about this later, but people are doing a lot of fucked up things with hot cross buns, and none of them make sense to me.
I think that same magic is used by the people at McDonald's on their fillet of fish burgers.
Yeah.
I threw a fillet of fish burger into my front garden at one point and looked at it 6 months later. It hadn't changed very much at all.
Yeah. I just think there's museums that have Big Macs in them that just don't decompose.
Yeah. Disgusting. But, if it's good enough for Macca's, it's good enough for the Lord.
Yeah, exactly. So the cross on the bun is obviously said to represent the crucifixion of Jesus. But we're talking about like novelty flavored hot cross buns that we're not down with. Because when you think about hot cross buns, I'm a traditional hot cross bun gal.
Mm.
And I just want to go on a side tangent. So hot cross buns come out usually on like Boxing Day some years. Like, get the fuck out of
Which
here.
means that some poor bastard somewhere is baking hot cross buns on Christmas night.
Yeah. Happy birthday and death.
Yeah, that's a weird tying together of birth and death for Jesus, isn't it?
It is. But like, we are aware, and this is the thing that annoys me about hot cross buns, like, can we just have them at Easter time? Because the rest of the year, by the way, supermarkets, I'm aware that fruit toast exists.
Yes. Please, it's the same thing, just flat.
It's the same thing. I don't need my fruit toast in a stupid bun shape. I just don't. I can't put it in the toaster. If I put it in the sandwich press, it goes flat and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
And all these stupid novelty flavors are a testament to the fact that they're on sale for too long.
Yes.
People wouldn't get sick of hot cross buns if you only brought them out a month out from Easter.
Of course. And they're just also further bastardizing the holiday, air quotes, because a hot cross bun is representing the crucifixion. It's made of the spices and fruits that were used to anoint Jesus's body in the body of Christ in the tomb when he was waiting to go into hardcore zombie mode.
Okay, finally a connection that makes sense. So, what do you know what they are?
Well, hot cross buns
Cinnamon?
are what the spices are.
Yeah.
Orange rind?
Yeah, orange rind, cinnamon, nutmeg, I assume. Embalming spices.
Yeah, they're embalming spices. And they are delicious.
Oh, okay. So spices like myrrh, frankincense, cinnamon, and cumin were used in embalming rituals. So cinnamon and cumin, I imagine, are in hot cross buns?
Yeah.
Hot cross bun spices. No, I don't want a recipe. I just want the spices in it.
Maybe traditional spices.
Cloves, coriander, nutmeg, allspice, ginger, and cinnamon. Okay, so not cumin.
Right. But at any point, they were rubbing all these spices all over a dead body.
Can you imagine?
And then they're like, you know what? We need to eat that.
Can you imagine how delicious Jesus must have smelled?
Oh, hell yeah. But also, like, how delicious he would be to other zombies if they're all being buried in that cave.
Yeah, true.
If there was two other guys on the hill with him, the two other criminals who were also crucified.
Were they in the same cave? They got shoved in there
I
as
don't
well?
know. I mean, I don't think anything's written about them. I presume they're in the cave.
I presume that too.
Yeah.
Let's presume that together.
Yeah, we're going to presume that.
So
look, hot cross buns predate Christianity anyway.
So they're in there, dead,
Yeah.
spirits floating around, smelling delicious.
Yeah, hungry. Yeah, smelling delicious. Smelling real good.
And so do we wonder whether the strength of the delicious odors is what forced their spirit back into their bodies and got the whole resurrection thing going?
Yeah. Or just like Jesus just sort of came around. He was like, that was fucked. But all those spices just brought me back to life.
Yeah.
Anyway, rolls the rock. Hey, guys. Fuck you. I'm out of here.
Yeah. I can't, like, I've never imagined him saying, hey, guys, when he comes out from behind that rock. I'll be honest. I just thought he kind of did a weird kind of float off into the sky kind of
He
deal.
came out and made a speech for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Is that like what, when Julian Assange came out of that embassy finally, a speech like that?
Yeah. Pamela Anderson's out there waiting for him. Love you, babe. Except it was Mary Magdalene.
Yeah. Look, we've got very worked up about hot cross buns lately. Is there any more for you to tell me about them?
Hell yeah.
Oh.
So they predate Christianity.
Yeah.
They go back to paganism. Actually, the ancient Egyptians were the first to even use a hot cross buns. Okay? So the cross on the bun divides the bread into 4 equal sections representing the 4 phases of the moon.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're telling me there were buns with a cross on it before old mate on his cross?
Yeah. Until the baker in Golgotha was like, get your crucifixion buns.
Filthy plagiarist.
Plagiarists.
Okay.
So you were talking about the goddess Ostra?
Yeah. Often do.
Well, she's the goddess of light. And the cross on top of the bun symbolizes the horns of the sacrificial ox
Okay.
that is related to her.
Well, I thought she was a hare.
Yeah, but there's like an ox involved somewhere.
All right. Well, of course. Goes without saying. Yeah. I'll tell you something about these ancient gods. They don't mind double dipping, triple dipping, quadruple dipping. I'm the god of fertility. I'm the god of light. I'm the god of ox.
Yeah.
Fair dinks, mate. How about a specialty area?
Let some other gods have a go.
For real.
What about the little ones?
Yeah.
What about those guys?
It's god power capitalism at work.
Truly is. Okay, so moving ahead into the Middle Ages, they were baking their buns with a cross on them to ward off evil spirits.
Okay.
Because,
Back in familiar territory.
pretty superstitious people back then.
Yeah, but I suppose, do evil spirits usually target baked goods?
According to my sources, yes.
Okay.
So if you've got a ghost in the house, it is going after those baked goods, like, immediately.
Okay. To destroy it? To
Inhabit.
To inhabit it. So it's going in there and becoming
It's going in
one.
the bread. And then you eat it, and then the evil spirit's in you, and that's how you get possessed.
Okay. What's to stop? Why not just paint a big cross on yourself? So even if you eat the possessed bun, you're protected.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good idea, and you probably should do both those things.
Right. Well, it's a shame I wasn't around in medieval times to spread my wisdom.
100%. So eventually a 12th century monk decorates his bun with a cross on Good Friday, known as the Day of the Cross, and that's why we have Easter,
Right.
hot cross buns.
Okay.
But
Did he say, eventually, please let it be done, that this becomes so early, that it is
Yes.
baked on Christmas night?
exactly, we want to get ahead of, the wait.
Do you think there'll ever be a time when we just lap ourselves and start baking Easter buns for the next year's Easter on this Christmas?
100%. Now,
Sorry,
I
that
mean,
was a very garbled way to make a very simplistic joke. I apologize.
So it doesn't say who I believe this would have been Henry VIII,
Oh yeah, that bloke.
but he totally banned the hot cross bun.
Yeah,
Because
because he had the shits with the church.
they broke with the Catholic Church. Yeah, he's like, fuck these buns. Not into them. They're bringing me down.
I'm not allowed to divorce who I want. Fuck your
Exactly.
buns. Is
Fuck
what
your
he said.
buns. If I can't get divorced and have hot sex with Anne Boleyn, fuck
That's
you
right.
and everyone and the buns that you like.
If I can't fuck buns, I'll fuck your buns. You can fuck your buns right off.
Exactly. No one's having any
Yeah,
good times.
No one's having good times with buns.
So there was a bit of a time where there was no buns.
Well, that's hard. That's hard to comprehend. You don't just charge on. Give me a moment to actually fully sit in that.
Like, the London Clerk of Markets issued a decree forbidding the sale of spice buns. So he would have been out there like, ding dong, get your fish, blah, blah, Lord and Savior, don't fucking sell any buns, motherfuckers.
That's right.
Ding dong.
Do you think there was
bananas for sale?
Some sort of bun Gestapo running around?
Yes.
Checking people's
sure
houses?
There would have been, yeah. They're not having any buns in here.
That's right.
And no divorces either.
May I see a panche? I know we're in England, but
They're probably
you got to
Spanish.
do the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
then
wouldn't
Queen
want to.
Elizabeth is like, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, common sense prevailed.
She's like, you can have them for funerals.
That's right.
You can have them for Christmas and Easter as well. And so here we are.
Oh, we're here now?
And we're here now.
Okay, we jumped from Elizabeth to here?
There's nothing in between that.
No.
She said it was okay, and then at some point people put Vegemite in hot cross buns, and now you and I are here complaining about it.
That's right. I was going to say somewhere in between then and now, the release of the buns got earlier, and what they were putting in the buns got stupider.
Stupid.
Oh, look, it's just shit. I don't know why it upsets me so much.
But it does. Like, it is triggering.
And this isn't called big whinge, but fair enough. It's called bit weird, but fair enough. But I'm finding myself whinging.
But you walk into a supermarket on Boxing Day or whatever the fucking day it is, and you're like, why are they here?
Yeah. It does sound like a bit of a first world thing to get upset about, but I'm only upset because I'm sure there are...
I'm a traditionalist.
Not even that. I'm sure there are smart people involved in coming up with all these gratuitous, unnecessary hot cross bun flavors. What could they be doing if they weren't, stuck in this hot cross bun, arms race?
Yes.
Could they be,
using their brain power for better things?
Exactly. In medicine, engineering.
Yep. Coming up with cures for diseases.
Correct.
Stop putting iced Vovos in hot cross buns. We don't want that.
Also, who's eaten an iced Vovo in the last 30 years? What are we doing here?
It's ridiculous.
It's way too coconutty.
Yeah, doesn't belong. There was no coconut in the tomb, so no.
Yeah. Jesus wasn't embalmed with coconut flakes.
Hell no. Although that does sound delicious.
It does, and they're desiccated.
I mean, when I die, I just want to be like covered in like Bounty bars, just rub them all over me.
I suppose the desiccated coconut would soak up some of the body fluid
Blood.
to dry you out and keep you a bit crispy.
Probably not a bad idea.
Yeah. Look, I've learnt a bit.
Still confused.
Still confused. All I've learnt is more things that confuse me. So I think it's not a net gain.
No.
But
at least we got it out of our system.
Absolutely. And I think maybe we finally purged. This probably brings us to the end of our hot cross bun whinges, which is spread across multiple podcasts now.
Multiple podcasts, multiple times.
Yeah. So, happy Easter, everyone.
Yeah, happy Easter to all who celebrate and all who don't.
Yeah. If, my socials don't have a massive following, but if you like the sound of Vegemite hot cross buns, unfollow me immediately.
Yeah.
Throw your phone into the lake and never listen to my podcast again.
And go get your head checked. Go find a psychiatrist and go make an appointment, please.
Actually, put your phone inside a Vegemite hot cross bun and frisbee that into the sun, please.
Happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter. Thanks very much, Rachel.
Not a problem.
Don't forget to check Rachel out on the Tuna Sandwich podcast and swinging on the Flippity Flop.
Woo woo.
Holy shit, there are some cracking episodes going on over there at the moment. You'd be a Vegemite hot cross bun eating idiot to miss out on that.
Yes, you would. Yes.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thanks, Stu.
And Thanks, Jesus.
This is an Angry Chimp podcast.